you wouldn't file a domestic against the individual? Is that?
I said I will follow. But he said we're gonna do it anyway. So if you don't want to fill out the paperwork, you don't have to. And I said okay. Then I don't have to. If I knew what I know now, like if I had looked into it, I would have filled out the paperwork. I would have signed the entire paperwork correctly. They're like, they didn't give you a little blue card, what the case number is? No, because they said they were going to. Oh, anyway.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
It was really, really confusing.
So,
and that's how it is. They picked me up on the side of the street, bloody and crying.
What street was it?
Lindale and Dowling.
Okay, and then what is this about Ron being told that if it's a domestic violence or if they have prior history and you know the individual, then if you know this individual, then they
didn't tell me that at the scene.
Yeah, but I'm trying to connect this to domestic violence because the problem you're having is that either officer doesn't understand the situation, the dire situation that's going on, or he's minimizing it. So what I'm trying to do is like he comes into a domestic violence situation. He comes to a situation where you say you've been beaten.
On the phone patronizes me, and they do this, and they just patronize me and make me feel like I'm nothing.
What was the officer's name? Was he a sergeant or was he just a desk officer? You know his name?
Ross and Officer Gregory.
Okay.
There's no sergeant on staff to speak to. There's no supervisor on staff. You told me to speak to a supervisor.
Yeah.
They said there's no supervisor on staff.
Which is a lie. That's an outright lie. That's outright. That's like saying that you're at work at you're at your job working at a factory and there's no supervisor. There's a lead. There's somebody that you can't be working without supervision. It's impossible.
He recognized me and he's like, you're crying. Are you drinking? No, I'm not drinking. I'm fucking crying. I'm fucking crying. Like, this dude has taken everything from me. And he's like, Kelsey, are you drinking?
So
No, I am not drinking. I'm asking you for help.
And
these officers on my life, I've dedicated my entire life to try to help. You know what I do?
No, I don't. What's your problem?
I teach high school English to alternative students. My students have either the females, they have had babies and they can't finish high school, and my male students are in and out of jail all the time. I teach 17 to 21 year olds, and I'm the end of the line. If you can't make it past me, you're not getting your diploma. You have to get your GED or something else, and yeah, I will help you find programs past that. But Jesus Christ, I am here. I am trying. But what can I tell these kids at the end of the day? If the police will not help me, I'm not going to help them. They will not help them. There's no. What am I telling these kids? It's a lie.
I think the biggest problem we have is that no one knows these policies that they're utilizing to minimize the situation. I'm sure if individuals knew what you know now, they would have either a different outlook on policy making, or different outlook on the police, or different outlook on domestic violence, or different, you know what I'm saying? They'll have different outlets on the what's going on, and they'll take an active role in trying to make sure these things don't happen to an individual, even if you have a prior history with an individual, even if it has been domestic violence, even if you gave this individual your keys. Because what I'm hearing is that they have no time.
I literally, tonight, I offered him my keys to get my shit back. To get my purse.
Oh, yeah. Mo, I didn't tell you that part. Like, she called him and told him.
I said, you can have the car. If the car is what you need, that's fine. Please give me my things back. He had all my laundry in the trunk. He had my driver's license, my social security, all my credit cards, everything. I said, if the car is what you need, then please.
Take the car and just give me my shit back.
Just give me my shit. So he pulled up. He pulled up right here. He gave me a big ass hug and he was like, baby, I love you. Yes, baby, I love you. Whatever. I'll say whatever it fucking takes to get my shit back.
Have you canceled all your credit card?
No.
Did you get your stuff back when he pulled up? What happened?
Everything back except the house key. And I called him back and I'm like, give me the house key. And that dude that was with him, and I don't recognize that man, he was like, don't pull up on her again, don't pull up on her again. And I'm like, motherfucker, who the fuck are you? You're in my car. And they hung up. Whatever that dreadhead is in the side. I told him the deal was, give me my stuff back. Everything in the car.
It doesn't even matter at this point, though, about the car key. I'll tell you why. Because you don't know if he's went and made a copy of it. It's not a security key, so anybody can make a copy of it.
He's not smart enough.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about the house key.
He's not smart enough.
Jessica just gave me her Menards card, and I'm going to go get all new locks tomorrow and change all the locks anyway. So it doesn't matter about the key anymore. You don't have to, if the key is all you're waiting for, don't worry about that.
No, because she's done everything for me.
Don't worry about that, though. Don't worry. She's not worried about that.
I literally
She's worried more about you than the house key. Trust me when I tell you.
In the situation that we're in currently, is we need to figure out, how is this even possible? How is it even possible for somebody who hasn't done anything wrong to have the police department take such a apathetic view?
Before, but they were assholes so hard tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I swear to God, this Officer Gregory was 10 times worse than what I thought they were before. I said, give me a policy number, give me something in writing. He said, oh, you can find it online. Didn't you say you could?
The same for police.
It is a policy. The policy is that if you give someone your keys, and Ron's saying something about history, if you have a history with this individual, and I'm assuming the history is a relationship with this individual, they in turn can tell you to wait 30 days before they actually investigate it.
It's an ex-relationship. I left him in June.
It's a fucked up policy.
I left him in June. I came back. His cousin got out of prison. We went out and partied.
Hey, how you doing? Good.
We got out and so his ex got out of the feds.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew all of them. That's how I met him. I knew all his cousins. I worked with his cousin. He got shot on 4th Street. He fucking...
But you gotta let go, though.
He was murdered on 4th Street.
You gotta let go, though.
But...
It's not. It's
he was indicted on that case and everything else, so they got out. And yeah, we wanted to... We went to down cabaret and we just partied and partied. And I told myself, as long as I wasn't alone with him,
everything's gonna be alright.
I was gonna be okay. He couldn't hit me if I was alone with him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I told myself. But I fell asleep at the goddamn party. And when I woke up, everybody was gone. He dragged me by the back of my head, my hair, outside. And that's what happened.
So because what I'm understanding is that, can you explain to me again? You said that they said that when you didn't have to fill out a domestic for them to pursue the case. And
no, they would do it. They would do it. You don't have to,
because you were trying to stay anonymous because you didn't want your name to be part.
I said I'm scared of retribution.
And they said, well, we'll file a report for you, so you don't have to worry about retribution.
That's what the officer said.
Which officer was it? Was this Gregor? This was somebody else, the officer on the scene?
Officer on the scene. He's a big man. But he said, it doesn't matter if you...
I didn't hear anything, so I don't know if she wasn't talking into the phone. But what I want to do now is maybe we should set up some time, come over there or come over somewhere and have her tell her side of the story, because now I think it's beyond her. It's beyond her. I think it's an attempt for her to explain it to other females who are going through. And the fact that she's a teacher and she's having
I don't care for myself.
Say again?
Like, you know what I mean? I don't care for myself, but at the same time, if you guys have a platform to put things out there, and maybe someone can listen to my stupid ass decisions.
It's not stupid. It's not stupid if you're being told information that's not fully correct. Because like I said, at this particular juncture, if they're telling you, hey, we're going to protect you by filing a report for you, and then have all that be an issue later on down the line, then it should have said, if we don't file, because it's because your car is missing, or your car has been taken. If you don't file a report, then the repercussions of it is that it's 30 days because of the situation. I mean, just because you don't understand, you truly don't understand what's going on. And ultimately, if everything that you own is in your vehicle, then you need that vehicle back quicker than 30 days. Period. You know what I'm saying? So it's like me saying, it's like me giving you a decision to make, and the decision is dire, but you don't understand all the options you have, and you select the wrong. What? Huh?
Privilege means absolutely nothing. As long as I know. Sorry.
So are you saying that do you want to do something on camera, or you just prefer to be audio? Because right now we don't have your name, we just have your story. We can put your story out in audio and video. It's a little bit better, but again, if you're scared of retribution and stuff like that, I mean, we can maybe blur your face or whatever you want to do. But I mean, I'm saying right now, the audio, just getting your story out is important.
To warn other people. Like, I have a double bachelor's. I am smart as fuck.
Yeah.
I have all the degrees and everything else, but I am goddamn dumb.
No, the thing about it is that being intellectually smart and having and that's a whole nother category opposed to what we're talking right now. We're talking about you dealing with your feelings and your emotions issue, and maybe that IQ might not be as high as your intellect IQ, but still that's not to be judged. What's to be judged is the incompetency of the police force and the fact that you're in a domestic situation and they fully don't understand this domestic situation.
I can take this back years. This is what y'all don't understand is my ex, I lived on Dillon University.
Your ex-husband?
No, before him. I lived on Dillon University about 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And this motherfucker knew how to break into my house that I was renting.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't bring any man home. I couldn't anything. He would just show up in my fucking house.
So this is an ongoing domestic issue that you're having.
It's not the person. This was something else, and I used to call the police. And I do not want to call the police on a black man in today's society.
Say that again. Say that again for me.
I want to call the police on a black man in today's society. I don't want to call the police on the next George Floyd. Are you kidding me? I love people. I love everyone I've met. I love you.
Mm-hmm.
You have been kind to me for what? For nothing. I love you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to call the police on someone.
And he ended up like George Floyd.
Correct.
Or they end up in the criminal justice system for something that could be taken care of outside the criminal justice system.
My bachelor's is in criminal justice, and they beat me down. I don't want to pursue any career. I lived with a police officer for 2 years. We were roommates back in college. He's a police officer down in Stillwater, and he unfriended me over all the shit that I post and everything else. He hates me.
What type of post did you post? Like, what did you post?
Over George Floyd?
I don't know. What did you post?
He whatever befriended you, defriended you based on your George Floyd post or based on this current. I'm not sure if you post anything current.
It's still my friend, but he unfriended me over the defund the police.
Oh, okay, because your position on defund the police, he defriended you.
The current objectives are working either, but
Mo, that's where the Camden, New Jersey study comes into effect. I sent you the link for that.
Okay,
and
you want to explain that to me? Because I didn't see it.
In Camden, New Jersey, they defunded the police. They did the same thing they're trying to do in Minneapolis. And what they did was they fired the whole police department, but they rehired everybody that didn't have a bad mark against their record.
Okay.
And it's been a good thing because the police officers that they hire now have a rapport with the communities that they police in. And the crime rate has gone down.
But
The rapport with the communities has gone up. You know what I'm saying? It worked in Camden, New Jersey.
But we're not so much. We're talking about police, but we're also talking about policy, because this policy that they have where they can take a person who's complaining, about domestic violence and then discretionary use it, because the discretionary part of it I'm having is if she has a history dating black males and she's a Caucasian female, then if I could come in, if I have a police officer that comes in on the scene and he's fed up with that dynamic relationship, or he doesn't want to pursue it because he feels as though she's less than a female that deserves the police services.
I'm an NL. My entire family has disowned me because I am NL.
Not your entire family. Your entire family has not disowned you because your mom calls you every day and tells you
my
that your
mom
brother's
and
coming to
daddy
pick you up.
But their families, they say, give me back our last name. I said I will when I marry one of them males. You know what I'm...
Explain it.
Well, there's no explanation. We know what she's talking about. The problem is that if that's your family's position, they have the right to make that opinion or make that stance, but a police officer doesn't when he comes on the scene, is what I'm getting at. It's like your family. I mean, who cares if your family? I mean, yeah, you do care, but if they choose to be racist, that's the choice that they can make. But the police officer can't come on the scene and utilize policy not to protect you or try to seek your possessions. And I'm not for the police. I've always been against the police. I'm an abolition when it comes to these policies, because policies can't correct really anything. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't do anything. So I'm against that.
I kept asking, give me a policy number, give me something. And he kept saying, you can look it up online, right? You can look it up online. You're smart, right? You can look it up online. Blah, blah, blah.
He's antagonizing the situation.
I want his fucking lights out. Like, you have no idea how bad I want him. Like, I want him in front of me because I swear my whole life.
Got his name. Got his name.
All you got to do is really simple. Is file a complaint against him about, and you have to keep it fact based that he did not do what he needed to do when it came to.
Are you drinking, Kelsey? Are you drinking? How much have you had to drink?
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
he's
I'm crying. I'm pissed. I'm emotional.
You want your shit back.
And not to mention I'm on a period as well. So I am emotional as fuck.
Yeah.
And using me of drinking and everything else.
He's just attempting to antagonize you. And like I say, minimize the situation. He's not professional at all. If you just want to deal with his professional conduct and write him up or submit a claim about him not being professional, all that stuff goes into his record as a police officer and affects him. But I mean, and the only other way you can do is become an advocate so this doesn't happen. Whoever, figure out we need to figure out what policy it is, be able to look at the policy, find out who passed these policies to allow these individuals to do what they need to do. Do what they're come on the scene and not do their jobs.
In my senior classes, I taught a class on your rights when you're pulled over. You have the right to have a supervisor come. You have the
exactly
everything. You know what I mean? I taught my students this, but how the fuck can I not utilize this?
But how could they tell you that there's no supervisor on staff when you ask about speaking to their supervisor?
There's always a supervisor.
There's always a supervisor. There's
times I did.
There's always somebody. The reason he doesn't want to get his supervisor involved because he knows he's out of line and what he's doing is not right. That's why.
Some young ass dumb asshole.
There's always somebody in charge.
I'm 32 years old. I was speaking to I bet you he's like 24 years old. He just felt like he was high on life, douchebag. You know what I mean?
But the thing about it is that these are the individuals they're bringing in to replace those seasoned cops that's supposed to be the problem. This is the new blood they're bringing in. These are the new recruits they're bringing in, and so you're getting a whole nother range of problems. Okay, you know, he might not be a racist, but he's not sympathetic to a Caucasian female who dates black men. Why? Because, you know, so the police, defund the police is the
term is you're aware.
Yeah, but that doesn't whether they believe it, whether that's a belief or not, has nothing to do with policy. If you're a criminal justice major and that's what you graduated, you understand that it doesn't matter. All this is just facts that has nothing to do with whether or not this police officer or this police department or these individuals within this precinct are practicing professionalism. That's all. And if he's not doing that when he's got that badge on, then it's a problem.
Dennis, can you please act professional, please? Like, no. It doesn't matter what my degree is in. They treat you how they treat you. It doesn't matter.
Why is that though? Why do you feel as though they're treating you a certain way? Not besides because you know when he pulls up, he knows he has a history, and is it based on that history?
I know. Yeah. I know exactly who I am. But at the same time, I expect you to at least do the very bare minimum.
No, not that. He's supposed to do his job, which is treat you as though he was like what I keep telling Ron, and what I'm telling you now is that the reason why we have this podcast is because if you watch any one of those cop shows, you hear the detective or the cop, the beat cop, whoever he is. If they come to say the individual is a prostitute or the individual is a drug dealer who's killed, shot, missing, whatever it might be, they'll tell the director or they'll tell the audience it does not matter what that person's done in their past. They were victims of a crime, and it's our jobs to protect those individuals, regardless. So what's going on now? Is there a disconnect between what these individuals are trying to portray and what truly goes on? And that's where I fit in right now, because it's always been a disconnect. It's always been a lie. It's never been the truth. Never been the truth. They walk into every scene with shit on their shoulders, emotional shit that they deal with. In the same way that happened to George Floyd. George Floyd did nothing to this man. So that's why it's got to be historic. It's got to be something that's going on mentally in his head that caused him to do that to an individual that did nothing to him. The same way he was walking into your situation, acting as though you've done something to him, and you haven't done anything to him. You're asking him for help.
But how can? This is my thing, right? He's a wanted fugitive. You see his criminal record. And you're still not helping me at all. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's personal. That's personal. That's personal. If he's a wanted fugitive, they're not looking for him. This situation is personal.
They said, can you find him and we'll follow you? No, you're not using me as bait. Are you fucking stupid?
Yeah, no, they need to. They
give me my shit back today, but not my car. I said, okay, I'll play by your rules, your game. I will definitely play by your game because I know there's something coming for me if I don't.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not stupid.
Yeah, I just, like I said, your case won't make it unless something tragic happens. More than likely, they're attempting to sweep it underneath the rug. So it's.
Stop stupid. Oh God, I'm from Michigan. I'm from Saginaw, Michigan, and I hang out in Flint and Detroit, and I swear on my whole life, I have never, ever, ever called the police, and they didn't instantly do something. Here, Minnesota police they're like pussy ass shit. Like I hate even saying that, like, I have a better chance of apprehending a criminal than the police do. That's subject to,
no, it depending on the crime. Right now, if I go out there and I go into Blaine, I kidnap some little white girl, they would definitely find me. And they would definitely, it depends. It's policing, everybody pays their taxes. Everybody pays taxes in the state of Minnesota and the United States. The problem with policing is that they select who they police or what they're going to do or what situations they find to be deplorable. And it doesn't work like that. But yeah, I mean, in this situation, I keep going back to it. They feel as though your situation, you're not the worthy victim. You're not worthy of our police protection. You don't want to turn this guy in. You don't want to, whatever the situation is. I wasn't there, but you're not cooperating with them to the point where they want you to be the bait. And it's,
I don't care if you're running around bloody.
Yeah, so you have documented, well, do you still have your, well, again, I don't, you're not wanting to be on camera. You just want to do audio, correct?
I think I'm ugly, but I'll be on camera.
No, this is not about that. It's just about whether we can just take your story and have you tell your story. That's better when they see you. And I mean, audio goes well, but most people, the visual part of it, these snippets or just seeing seeing your situation, wanting to know more about your situation and then seeing you is a lot better than audio. Audio does well, but video does even better because then they can relate. They can see you. They'll see that visual. They'll see your wounds. They'll hear you talking. So that's why I'm saying that's why I was saying, well, maybe we can do something actual video. Cause the audio is going up tonight. We can go back and rehash the story video, maybe get some facts, maybe find this policy that they're using. And let people know and do like a public service announcement.
My audio is going up tonight.
Yeah, your audio is going up tonight on SoundCloud, and I'll probably audio it on YouTube before we get the video.
All right.
Yeah, definitely, it's gonna go up tonight. As soon as I get in, I'm gonna chop it up. I'm gonna put it up. I'm gonna we're gonna try to get together tomorrow and do a video, huh?
Kind of introvert, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel comfortable talking to you. I feel comfortable with Ron. He's fantastic.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, if you guys want to do audio and he wants to do it on his phone,
I'm really not in it for anything else. Like, if someone can learn from my story or something, like, I'm dumb as fuck, obviously.
No, wait, I think that, like you said, you being a teacher who's critical to the social structure, and if you feel disheartened or the criminal justice system is not working for you, then I mean, how do we correct this? I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to open up a discussion, because my deal is they can always say I'm a felon. It's not meant to work for me. Who gives a fuck what I got to say? They could always say that about me. But for someone like yourself, you know what I'm saying? Work hard, blah, 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 all type, whatever accolades you want to put behind your name, degree, whatever you want to put. And then you ask yourself, question, I pay my taxes then where's my tax dollars going, and why can't I get a service? And who, like I said, who allowed this to be part of how the police actually operate? Maybe they need to be re-educated on how to deal with domestic situations and explore it a little bit further before they pass judgment on an individual and refuse to help them. You know what I'm saying? Which is not even their parameters of doing their job. But if they decide it's something they want to do, you know what I'm saying? At least be wise enough to understand that this is not an issue that you can just tell an individual, well, just wait 30 days, and if you don't get your car back, then we'll pursue it. Which, well, okay, that's not why I pay tax dollars. But I mean, I'm definitely this is crazy. If this is how you're going to pursue this, him being an officer and being empathetic to your situation should have did something or made it work out so you can, like you say, at least get your property back, or have an APB put out for the car, or something to that extent. But nothing happened. So yeah.
Hey, my students.
Say again.
iPhone. My students last year stole an iPhone, 2 of them. And they got panned with grand larceny. So they're in an Oakland County jail right now. And these, to me, I know it is what it is, whatever, but these are my babies. When you're my student, you're 17 to 21 years old, you're my baby. And they got charged full force, grand larceny. But this motherfucker took my phone, my car, my everything, and can't charge him with nothing?
Yeah, well, the whole thing is different. So from the student standpoint, which I can speak on, I'm speculating. This is speculative, but I feel like individuals who are alternative students who have not been placed in the system, once they figure all this stuff out, then they're going to definitely start tracking them in the system, because in their minds, these guys are these individuals are future.
Are tracked in the system from the second they do anything.
That's what I'm getting at, is that right now, for them to start building up their records, in their mind, these individuals are future criminals. So we might as well start tracking them in our system now. So we have their fingerprints, we have their DNA.
Let's get rid of them now.
Well, they have their fingerprints, they have their DNA and stuff like that. Now, in your situation, totally opposite. I think you can't compare the two in their minds. Not to say that it's right. I'm not judging anybody. I'm saying right now, the reason the iPhone situation became, okay, this is serious, because we have future criminals who are taking things, and we want to make sure we get them. But in your situation, it's like, okay, well, she's unable in this situation. We're not gonna pursue it any further. So what, your stuff's got taken away. Maybe you'll learn this time not to allow this to happen to you. Who cares? And that's not me. That's not mine. But this is just my summation of how I see them doing their jobs. And again, we're taking them, allowing these individuals, these police officers, to make, and it doesn't matter white or black. They're all being trained in the same way. And whether they follow that training is one thing, but they're being told, they're being given this discretion to pretty much do whatever they want to do when they come on the scene, and that's not how things go. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll get with my brother Ron and try to figure out a time that works out for you or us, so we can get together and just we don't have to do anything long, but you can rehash your story, and we can try to find this policy and try to put it up and try to get people to, and it's like I said, it's not anything for me. It's just, I would like to know, you could be my daughter. I would like to know this shit up front. I know people would like to know that if they're allowing the police to, if you're not willing to, if you want to stay under the radar and you don't want to file a complaint against an individual because you fear retribution, here's what you're going to end up dealing with. And I think that's valid, that's relevant, and people should know. Period.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
What I'm saying.
Say again?
I am super introverted. I'm a nerd. I'm a teacher. And I've told you this. If someone can learn from my stupid ass mistakes, then that's all it takes.
You know, I mean, that's a great and that in itself is selflessness. You have to that's you giving back in the best situation. That's you being a teacher, an educator. You know what I'm saying? It's a great thing. But let me like I said, just try to get a time that works out for you. Maybe we can. I don't know how we're gonna do it. We'll try to figure out the logistics of that, trying to get you somewhere, or we can videotape and get you to tell your story. I want you to basically tell your story.
No, but I want to call again and ask your supervisor.
What do you mean? Ask for a supervisor? What are you asking for a supervisor for? I know it's a supervisor. I want to speak to a supervisor. Ask for a supervisor. No, I want to speak to a supervisor. Okay, well, let me speak to the lieutenant. But we can keep playing this game all day long. You know what I'm saying? We can keep playing this game all day long. If it's not, then somebody's got to be in charge. Let me speak to the person in charge. Cause I want names. I want badge numbers. I want names. I want badge numbers. I want names. I want, because I'm going to pursue this. This ain't the reason I'm calling you, because this won't be the last time you hear from me. And the reason I want your badge number, because you're going to be written up on when I make my complaint, your badge number, your name is going to be associated with you. So I just want to let you know right up front. I got stopped this Sunday by a police officer, a state trooper. He pulls up on my vehicle. He didn't stop me for anything other than my car that I was driving. Period. You know what I'm saying? He tried to say I was speeding, whatever. And so as soon as he came to my car door, and he said, you know what I'm charging for, you got insurance, or the whole little spiel they give. You know what I told that motherfucker? I told him, listen. After he said what he said, I let him say what he said. I said, listen, man, I got cameras on my car. So I'm letting you know right off the bat, whatever you give me, I'm going to dispute in court. And it's not going to be your word anymore. I have cameras on my car. So make sure whatever you bring into me, it's facts based. Cause it's not me. It's not my word against your word. And then you know what he said to me? He's like, I got cameras on my car too. But the motherfucker returned with a warning cause he was lying. So it's just like you know the law, you know how shit play itself out. So you have to be forceful with these individuals and let them know, hey, I'm not laying down. I know you got a lieutenant. I know you got a sergeant online. I know you got one on. Let me speak to this motherfucker, because this is not how things play itself out. It doesn't. And I want to talk to somebody. You put me on the phone with somebody, and I want a badge number.
I wish I had friends like you. Yeah. I have heart.
Yeah, it's just I've been through the criminal justice system. I understand how they get down. I got a certain level. I feel like I have a certain level of understanding that most people take for granted, and most people don't come to this understanding until they get caught in the system. Then they start to educate themselves and get wise to what's going on. I had a long time to figure the things out, and I'm like I said, I don't take things for granted anymore. I don't take their words for being truthful, and I don't take things for granted. So I have my own, and I'm not scared. I got my own understanding of what's going on. So I'm not trying to be combative. I'm not trying to be adversarial. Like you say, when they roll up on you, you have certain rights. Most people don't know what they are, so they allow them to do whatever they want to do to them.
The opposite side of the system, where when I got in trouble the first time, I just thought they would be 100%, you know?
Everybody thinks the same way you think. Even if you don't think that way, you still hope that these individuals are going to play by the rules, or you have somebody advocating your position, or they're not just trying to screw you over. Everybody, then that's what they thrive off of. That's what their energy comes from. An individual thinking, because but it's not solely the police officer's fault. It's the fact that America, the media has built up this understanding that you can't question them. They're always right. Look at Cops. Show me one episode of Cops where a police officer got behind someone or pursued someone, that individual didn't have some form of contraband on them, drugs, a gun?
I have a degree in criminal justice. Do you know what they do to you?
Who is you?